Check. 1, 2, 3, and we're rolling. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to my hungry athletes worldwide. Go ahead, throw me up on your TV, throw me on the speaker, throw me up on the car. If you're on the YouTube, please don't watch me while you're driving. But I'm so glad to have you guys here today. Today, the message I want to get to you guys is that I want you to work on rewiring your brain. I just got off of a long hiatus. I had a little break in August and beginning of September, and this is the time of year where it's after my birthday. Usually I'm transitioning right into school, but because I'm a grown man, I'm 25 now, I'm not going back to school. I'm not going back to a job. I'm not going back to a program. I'm just here. I used to be a coach for what's called the Roxbury YMCA, but because of just extenuating circumstances and because of the virus that we got going on in 2021, I'm not in the pool. I'm not necessarily teaching in person. So there are certain things I'm able to teach you from YouTube. I'm able to teach you from iTunes podcasts. But what I want to get to you today is that when you take those long breaks, you start to rewire a lot of the good work that was going on in your life. And so if you need to rework that into your life, you need to rewire your brain first. So start thinking about the good habits that you want to implement into your life. Think about the person that you want to be in the future, in 5, in 10, in 15 years, even 20 years. The person that you want to be in 20 years, you should be practicing to be right now. So think about that person that you want to be, whether you want to be working out or at a certain weight, where you want to be at a certain level in your company. Start practicing that right now. If you have to start putting in hours in the beginning of the day, start putting in those hours at the beginning of the day. I actually just got off the phone with my line brother. We were talking, we're completely different. I'm a morning person and he's a night person. He has a slow start, I have a fast start, and I just progressively get slower. But he has a process in a way where he just gets stronger and stronger through the day. He progresses through the day as he's able to go. So whatever you have to do in your struggle, whether it's putting in hours after work or putting in hours before work so that you can be where you want to be, take that time. I have the pleasure of being able to talk to friends or talk to people in my life who have goals that are oriented towards, uplift, betterment. I keep people who are positive in my life. I keep people who want to challenge themselves in my life. And because of that, we exchange different mediums. We exchange different forms of media just to help each other out. And so in that, you want to be around people that are going to help rewire your brain and be around people who are not necessarily going to encourage those old habits that you had that you don't want to get into. If there's certain things that you don't want to get into, just focus on being around people who do things that are not in that avenue. Hang out with those friends that play chess. Go ahead and hang out with those friends that play Uno sober, or hang out with those people that go running on Wednesdays. Pioneers Run Club. I'm gonna come sometime. I hurt myself, so I'm not running as hard as I used to, but I'm gonna find some time to run with the Pioneers. So if you gotta take some time to be around people who will help rewire and strengthen those little bonds that you have in your head. All it is strengthening the pathways. Everything that you do in your day is strengthening the pathway. When you sip some water, you're encouraging yourself and you're helping your body grow. You're adding good stuff to your body. You're encouraging, as opposed to having sugary drinks or a coffee or having just alcohol, you're having water. You're refreshing yourself. Just doing simple things like that, like sipping water in the morning, sipping water in the afternoon, sipping water before and after you have a meal. Those are things that you can do to make yourself a better person, to rewire your brain. This is the whole point of this podcast. If there's anything that you need to get from this podcast, is that the power to rewire your brain is within you. It's within you. You have to take that time, though. You have to take the time to take what was wired Take the damage that was there, take the processes that were there, and put something new into it. You know, as opposed to taking a smoke break after lunch or taking a smoke break when you get home, how about you go for a run? Go for a lift. You know, do something that you want to do. Work, play the piano, practice, chilling with your family. How about you chill with your family? Yeah, go chill with your family at night. You know, take that time so that whether you're helping yourself, helping your community, or just, you know, letting off the load from the day, take that time to rewire your brain, because we were in a time in the summer and everybody, not necessarily everybody, but a lot of us, we take away the good work that we started with. You know, sometimes when kids leave from school, they don't pick up a book the whole summer and their reading level just drops. Why? Because they didn't practice it. They're not practicing reading. They're not practicing comprehension. They're not practicing these different things. And that's why it's hard for a student to come back and go to a math class or go to a history class or go to a reading class where they're not practicing these things on a daily basis. So if there's things on your schedule or things that you want to do, whether it's either for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, just get it done. I like just pull up to the piano and playing some of my favorite songs that I learned when I was younger. Why? So I won't lose that. Because there was a point in my life where I did lose it, and this was a couple years ago. This is before a little bit before the pandemic, where even for Elise, one of the first classical songs I learned how to play, I wasn't completing it. I couldn't complete it because I hadn't been practicing it, and so I spend just a little bit of time when I pass my piano in the morning. I just play it out. It takes a quick 2-3 minutes. And then after that, I start playing a little bit of Bohemian Rhapsody. Then I get into a little bit of a ballad. Then I start just freaking it just because I can. You know, that's how life is. You know, if you don't think you can go for a run, just go for a walk. Go for a walk one time and do some laps. And then the next day, you know, go for a walk, but then pick it up. You know, start jogging. And then after that, on the next day, you know, go just jog. Just jog half the time. Spend that time jogging, and you'll progressively find your way to running a mile or running 2 miles, and then running a 5K, and then running a 10K. And next thing you know, you're running races. And I want you to know that previously in my life, I know you shouldn't want to be like me. I mean, there are certain qualities that I have that are great and all, but, you know, I spent a lot of time working. Like, I've been working a lot in my life. Like, I think earlier, people who know me or people who have heard in the podcast before, when I was younger, I used to swim. And so in that process, when I got to high school, basically, we started taking that real serious. I was good and I wasn't going to take it for granted. And so me and my coach, Fred, we were going at practices real hard. We was going to morning practices. We was going to practice at different pools. We were going to all the swim meets. We were just swimming just because we could, like taking every single opportunity we could. And so in that process, I had to do some morning practices. And in the morning practice, anybody who knows or any swimmer who knows anything about a morning practice is that it's the worst thing ever. It's one of the worst things as a child to experience. Basically, it teaches you to wake up in the morning to no avail. You're not gonna get a prize right after. You might get some food, but you're not gonna necessarily get a prize after. You're not gonna get the medal right after practice. You're gonna wake up at 4:30 or 4, whatever it is, to get yourself at the pool. Say somebody opened up the pool for y'all early so you can pull up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whatever it takes. And you're a young high school player. Remember, this is like 15, 16, 14 years old. Like, I'm a young kid. Like, I'm working on just being a better swimmer. And you got to get into that pool eventually. The pool is cold. It's not easy. It's deep, you know, but it's very finite. Everything that we have in this life is very finite. And so you can stick your toe in the water, or you can just jump in and get to practice. Get to practice, get to working. You can work hard and just be the best you that you can be. If you be the best you that you can be in practice and make that shit a habit, excuse my language, if you make that excellence a habit, if you willing to do the hard thing first thing in the morning or do the hard thing last thing at night, you will succeed. You will succeed eventually. So just begin rewiring your brain, begin taking the time. You want to do something different. Do something just different with your life. You don't have to do the things that you're doing right now. You don't have to do the things you're doing right now. You're not forced to do the things you're doing right now. I promise you. Any of these habits, any of these addictions, any of these jobs, any of these people that you feel like you have to hang around, you don't need that. Do something different. Chill with some different people. Date someone different. Don't cut somebody off. Just tell them you're going to spend some less time with them. Or just spend more time focusing on yourself so that you can make yourself more available for you. I want you to know, just practice who you want to be. There are some things, there are some traumas that we have to work through. There are some things that we have to rework as a society. We damage ourselves basically every single weekend. And people who were living in the hood or people who are living lifestyles we're living, we damage ourselves every single day. And so whether it's through sugary foods, damaging habits, we can do so much better. So if there's anything that you get from this podcast today, do something different today. Don't do the same thing that you always do. Whether you have to write something down, whether you have to just go ahead and dance, spend some time with your mom, spend some time with your dad, spend some time with your sister, your niece, cousin, whoever it may be. Do something different. Rewire your brain, and you'll be a better person for that. You'll be a more diverse person. You'll be a more fluid person. You'll be more flexible. You want to be a flexible person. Let your brain be flexible. I always just let myself be open to what life has to be going on for me. I be checking the vibes. I be checking on my people. If I feel like I need to chill with a friend that hasn't been chill with in a while, I'll do my thing and try to spend some time with them or give them a phone call. Just do something different. Do something different. Don't ride the bus. Take a walk. Don't take a car. Go for a bike. Just do something different. Do something different. I appreciate y'all for listening. I'm gonna be out. Stay positive. Stay blessed. Peace. I'll see y'all later.